Greetings everyone, my name is Dominic and today you're tuning in to the Comic Book Report, where we review comic books and graphic novels so you can get an idea of what to read. And today I've prepared a quick overview video for all of you, taking a look at the newly released Green Lantern by Robert Venditti Omnibus Volume 1 from DC Comics. This omnibus takes place directly after the run by Geoff Johns, the prolific, legendary run. So this book takes place roughly in the newer half of the New 52 era, and it runs for a while before Venditti ultimately starts doing the book in Rebirth era as well. The New 52 era for this creator is, I think, mapped across two omnibuses, this first here and a second that is slated to come out in early 2026. I'm eager to talk about this collection today, but before we go any further, I would like to shout out the channel sponsor, Panelbound Comics. If you're looking to pick up your own comic book collected editions, perhaps this very omnibus, I'd highly encourage you to check out their website. You can find a link to them in the video description, and if you see anything site-wide you like, you can actually use my discount code at checkout, TheComicBookReport, to save $2 off of your order. Please note if you use my affiliate link or code to make a purchase, I will earn a small commission, but it's a fantastic way to support this channel. Thank you so much for considering. Now on with today's overview. To begin, we're going to go ahead and take dedicated looks at the front dust jacket cover, spine, and back dust jacket cover for today's release. As we do that, just a couple quick facts about this collection. This omnibus collects Green Lantern, issues 21 through 34, Green Lantern 23.1, Green Lantern Annual number 2, Green Lantern Corps, issues 21 through 34, Green Lantern Corps Annual, issue 2, Green Lantern New Guardians, issues 23 and 24, Red Lanterns, issues 24 and 28, and Stories from Secret Origins, issues 3 and 9. The issues in this omnibus were primarily written by Robert Venditti, along with Val Jensen, Charles Soule, and Justin Jordan. For art, we had an array of artists including Billy Tan, Bernard Chang, Chris Batista, and more. The omnibus itself has 856 pages. This omnibus also has glossy print paper stock and what appears to be a glued binding, although it might be sewn as well. But have no fear, there is certainly a heaping handful of glue, but more on that once we reach the book's binding in a moment. Before we get to that, however, I would like to do one final moment on the book's exteriors. And here we go. So this time I will go ahead and remove the exterior dust jacket. I will show you the interior flaps as well, which in this case really just provide additional artwork, which I really love. I will begin to go ahead and open up that dust jacket so you can see it all at a glance in greater detail. As far as the graphic designs go for this collection, I really loved the exterior work here. We have an abundance of artwork, which I think is such a great way to sell the collection. I love the colors, I love the vibrancy, and of course I love many of these Green Lanterns. Now under the dust jacket we have an incredible wraparound image which is just wonderful. The exterior hardback book itself does seem to have a bit of a glossy coat or sheen on it, but it really does just array some of our favorite Green Lantern universe characters, and I really think this is a striking idea for a hardback. The only interruption we have of the wraparound is the DC Comics logo on the bottom of the spine. Otherwise we do have a solid unbroken image, and I for one really think DC hit it out of the park with this one. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier in this video, here is a look at this book's binding. So this is very comparable to what I've seen with all of the DC Omnibus collections. There's a heap and helping of glue and possibly some sewn work here. Now we don't have much of an eye on this collection. Perhaps after further reading it will relax a bit. We do have some gutter loss, but nothing too critical, at least for this reader. Of course, as I'm flipping through though, you can make your own judgments for yourselves. And finally, before we dive into today's collection, just a couple of context notes. In case you're wondering, this omnibus does pick up directly after the incredible run by Geoff Johns, which itself was collected across 3 omnibus editions that you see here. Now, do you need to read the Johns run before picking this book up? I will say it absolutely will fill out the Green Lantern universe and world, but I'm sure Venditti does a decent job of bringing you up to speed with the things you need to know. Okay, and now let's go ahead and break into the collection, and after some beautiful detailed green end pages with a lot of art itself, we do have a title page, a 2-page spread that shows some of the creators and pertinent details about the collection. Then we have a publication information page, followed by a proper page-numbered table of contents. And the table of contents is not only numbered with all the details you could need to index your favorite issues, but also it's broken across story arcs, which I love to see. Each of these story arcs does have a titled header in the portion of the table of contents that corresponds with it, and I thought that that was a really nice touch. After the table of contents, we do have a nice introductory essay that will tee off the collection. And if you've been a watcher of this channel for a while, you might note that I am a huge sucker for introductory essays and afterwords and things of that ilk, so rest assured this did bring a huge smile to my face. Now after that front matter, we are off to the races with the first issue in the collection. And as I've gone over the contents already, you should note that I think that this book seems to be mapped very well. In addition to the Green Lantern sequence numbers, we also have those tie-ins or other issues mapped, well, pretty much as good as they're gonna get, which I really appreciate. I should say as well, confessionally, that I have never read any of the contents in this omnibus. I am going to be a fairly blank slate to this entire era. In fact, my knowledge of Green Lantern essentially ends after John's. What I know of this run suggests that we follow Hal and some of the other beloved Green Lanterns, such as John Stewart and Guy Gardner, just to name a few. In the aftermath of everything John set up, it sounds like the Green Lanterns are in for a new set of misadventures, including cleaning up the Green Lantern Corps, helping it survive its next iteration or evolution, even as some of the other emotional Lantern Corps begin to wane or struggle. Exactly what is going on for these other Lantern Corps, well, I suppose I'll have to figure it out. I think for me going into this collection, I'm trying not to judge it by the run that came before, which was the legendary John's run. I'm trying to let Venditti speak for himself and ultimately introduce me to the next chapter for Hal and the rest of the Lanterns. Now, does it appear he has huge shoes to fill to kind of take on this vacuum that John's absence left? Yeah, of course, but I'm trying really hard not to evaluate based on that for this first read-through. As far as the art direction as well, we have so many different contributing artists that it can be a little bit hard to speak about any of them in particular. But even with that said, flipping through, I don't think the art transitions are all that jarring. We have all the color, all the vibrancies, all the light throughout all of these different artists. The character models appear to be recognizably themselves throughout this whole book, so I think that I'm going to have a just fine time making through. Or making my way through, rather, I should say. Something novel about many Green Lantern stories, and I seem to pick up inklings of it here, is that we have interstellar, universal stake level storytelling, and I think that that really sets him uniquely apart in the pantheon of the Justice League characters, with the exception of maybe something like Superman, who himself also deals with the occasional interstellar threat. But being part of a peacekeeping force throughout the universe, I do think that Green Lantern is in a class all to his own in the DC universe. I will say I've heard that Venditti's run picks up as you crest into the DC Rebirth era, and of course those issues aren't included here, but I am happy to see what he does as he first tackles this property and see his evolution and growth with these characters. Like I said, I know this Volume 2 for this omnibus is slated to come out in early 2026. Will we get DC Rebirth era Green Lantern omnibuses afterward following Venditti's work? I'm not sure. I guess time will tell. Hopefully the sales on this are strong enough to really help prompt DC to get more of these modern Green Lantern omnibuses made. As you can likely tell for this overview, I don't really have that much subject matter to impart to you as I am making my way through it for the first time, but if you would like more details on this book, let me know in the comments and I will try to do a full review of this title when I complete the omnibus. My goal for this overview rather was to give you a sampling of what you can expect, the build of the book, and some of the art inside. I hope it's been helpful for you, and I think that we're going to go ahead and begin wrapping up the video. One final note I have, however, is that like the Flash by Mark Waid Omnibus Volume 1, this omnibus unfortunately really doesn't have any extras at the back of the book. We really have a issue cover of some kind and about the authors, and that is it. I would have, of course, loved to have seen more in way of extras at the back, but I am happy with the introductory essay and some of the other smatterings of extras we got throughout the omnibus. And maybe in subsequent omnis in this line, we will get more extras. Fingers crossed on that one. And with that, we're going to go ahead and bring this to a close. This has been Green Lantern by Robert Venditti Omnibus Volume 1 from DC Comics. Again, this was a quick overview. If you'd like to see more thoughts, definitely check out a future review and let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments. Let me know as well if you've read this run, if you plan to pick up this omnibus, or anything else Green Lantern related. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, this has been the Comic Book Report. Please don't forget to leave your like, those comments we talked about, and maybe share this video with a friend. Thanks everyone, bye.